Foster parents abruptly demanded I move out with only 4 days' notice, leaving me feeling abandoned and questioning my worth. To Matt and Claire. I came to you as a 7-year-old. A 7-year-old who had never felt love or affection, or anything remotely nice. I was taught at a young age to fear those in authority. To fear the sudden changes in the moods of my birth parents. I was taught to bottle up my emotions and my pain and never show it. When I first came to you, my life was ruled by fear and anxiety. I know my behaviors back then were awful, were a struggle to manage. I had been taught there were no consequences for some actions. And firm, scary and hard consequences for others. The worst part was that those actions never seemed to be consistent. I could do something one day and be praised by my birth family, and another day I would be beaten. Love was not something given, it was something earned. It was conditional and shallow. You both showed me another way. You showed me love and affection, and at first it felt confusing and hard to comprehend. I couldn't see myself as anything more than a nuisance. I couldn't see why someone would love me. I couldn't understand why you weren't beating me. Do you remember me telling you can hit me if I be naughty, I won't mind? Slowly you taught me to trust and love myself, and those around me. You showed me that no matter what I did, you wouldn't give up on me. You wouldn't send me away or hate me. And I really tried to make you. I know that. I was scared. You made me realize that it wasn't my own fault I was in care, and that I wasn't to blame for the things that happened to my birth family. You showed me appropriate outlets to my fears. You showed me love, compassion, and kindness. The first day I remember feeling truly safe was when I was sitting in your arms at 8 years old, watching Shrek. I still think back to that moment. It probably just felt like another day to you, but to me, it is a core memory in my life. It's a moment that shapes the way I see myself. You sat up with me when I was worried about moving up to secondary school. You comforted me when my birth mom told me she no longer wanted to be part of my life. You were there when 20 broke up with me when I was 15 years old and I felt like my whole world was ending again. You encouraged me to go beyond with my studies and apply to university. The most important thing you showed me was that I was worthy of being loved and respected. You never gave up on me. I am who I am today because of what you did. I look at myself and I see compassion, and care, and kindness. And in those traits I see you. You weren't my birth family but you were my family. My only family. I don't know what changed. Why has there been a switch? Why have you gone from the loving and caring parents you were? When I leave my room now, I no longer feel that love and kindness that brought me out of the pits of despair as a child. It's almost as if you have completely altered the way you see me, and I just can't understand why. A few days ago you told me I had to move out. You gave me 4 days notice to leave my family. You sent me back into feeling like that child at 7 years old. I'm not saying this to guilt you or to ask you to let me stay. That has passed now and unfortunately I don't think I'll ever be able to see you the same way again. I understand if you were hard on money or if you wanted to help another child like me. But why not talk to me? Why spring it on me and then act like I don't matter? Why tell me it's just business? Did you think that would make it hurt less? Since you told me my whole life has been turned upside down and I don't know how I will make it to the other side. If I had felt like this a few weeks ago, do you know who I would have gone to? I would have gone to you. I would have told you my worries and my fears, and you would have said the exact right thing and then we'd sit together and watch some awful TV show. And now, I have no one again. I feel like I'm being told for the second time in my life that I don't deserve a family. And this time I have no one to pick me up off the edge. That was always you, Mom and Dad. It was always you I could rely on. Why are you giving up on me now? My PA is allowing me to store my things I can't take with me in his garage. It's kind of him. He's found me a place at a local hostel. I'll get my own room apparently, which was a big deciding factor on if I wanted to move in or not. The hostel works with the LA and houses a lot of care leavers, the English term for someone who has aged out of foster care, while they wait for their own houses. I haven't sent the message yet, but I know my foster brother Jamie has seen it. Yesterday I felt overwhelming emotions, today I feel none. I don't know which is better. I'll send it once I'm moved out. I have a room, so I'll be gone in a few hours. I still haven't spoken to them, but I just can't face it anymore. I am sick of being anxious and stressed about this. I guess they did get their 4-day notice after all. Edit 1. I have just left the Peters house for the last time. The room is ready for me at the hostel. I feel so weird and sad and lonely right now. I've ordered myself a pizza to have for dinner today, and my PA even paid for it. I just want to get in bed and cry. My head is spinning thinking about everything I need to do. Wish me luck everyone. Edit 2. I want to clarify something. I was hurt and in shock when I wrote my first post, but I want to make it understood that I was never eligible to be adopted. At first, the end goal for me was to reintegrate me into my birth family. By the time we knew that was never going to happen, I wouldn't have accepted adoption as I wanted to keep my legal ties with my birth family. The Peters always told me it didn't matter that I didn't want to be adopted, and they loved me the same anyway. Maybe it wouldn't have changed anything, or maybe it would have. They were paid fortnightly for caring for me, and they would get £1,565. 48. That's £40,702. 48 per year they got just to raise me. Which is about $52,295. 77. I keep thinking about that number. Was that all I was? I wonder what I would change if I could go back in time. Edit 3, I am settled in the hostel now. It's not exactly luxury, to say the least. But at least I'm here now. I sent the text message, very slightly altered from the one I wrote yesterday. And then I left the group chat. I also posted it on Facebook. That was probably the wrong thing to do. I don't know. Update 1, I want to put everything behind me. Claire rang me crying, saying she had no idea I felt like this. How? How could she not know? She said she was sorry and begged me to come back. God. How do I ruin everything? She was telling me all these things about how she regrets the past few days so much and wishes she could take it all back. I said this is not fair. She cannot throw me out and then call me crying. I said it's manipulative. She just kept saying sorry. She said she loves me and wants me to come home. Jesus. This is just a lie, right? She must have known. Am I the bad person here? I feel so confused I don't know what to do. I just hung up and then she started texting me and I blocked her. But now I feel like I'm the bad person here. I'm so tired of this. Of all of this. I want nothing to do with any of them. I don't think Reddit is good for me. I'm not sure any of this is good for me. I'm going to delete the app. Sorry everyone. Update 2, I am Jamie Oop's brother. I was not going to comment on this online as I did not feel it was my place. But I have permission from Oop for everything that I'm going to share here. This is a throwaway account which was requested by Oop if I was going to comment on here. I am just going to give Oop a fake name because it's easier than saying Oop. I will call him Ollie. Ollie is active on this thread but said he does not feel up to responding to anyone. I am currently with him now and he is safe. I'm looking out for him. Being truthful, I am as confused about everything that has happened as everyone else. I have tried talking to my parents and can't get any sense out of them. At first they told me that Ollie was choosing to move out against their wishes, which seemed really out of character to me. I tried talking to him but he seemed off with me and distant. I knew that something must be off because everyone was acting weird in the house. My parents were refusing to talk about it and I thought it was because they were hurt, not because they were lying. Ollie is the first person that we have had age out of foster care while they've been a member of our family. But that's no excuse for how our parents have treated him over the past couple days. Which is even more confusing as I always thought they had a better relationship with Ollie than they did with me. I'm the fuck up of the family and Ollie is like their success story. Our parents foster through an IFA or independent fostering agency here in England. There is a rule that there must be at least one full-time stay-at-home parent while they have a fostering placement with them. But still one of them could have gone out and got a job if they were really hard up for cash. When I left, which was when I saw the letter Ollie wrote on Facebook, our mum was an absolute mess, sobbing and crying on the living room floor and dad had locked himself in the bathroom. I feel so lost for words as it's so hard to describe what is happening because I feel as confused as the rest of you. When I brought up my concerns about them potentially doing the same thing they did to me to another child, I was told they were going to be given extra guidance and support when children reach 17-18 and ensuring everyone is on the same page about staying put orders. That's it. Nothing else. Extra guidance. That's all. Extra guidance, is that even a slap on the wrist? My PA told me that they were unfortunately within their rights to ask me to leave after I turned 18. I said about how they told me it was a business decision and they told me that unfortunately financial does come into decisions like this. Is that all I am, a financial decision? Does this system seem fair to anyone? I feel like I'm losing my mind. There should be more of a punishment for them. I'm not saying they should be banned from fostering again. I don't know. I still feel all in a tizzy, my mind just going crazy. I keep saying I'm not going to add anything else to this account, but I genuinely have no one else to talk to about this. Jamie, as nice as he is, doesn't understand me. And my friend just doesn't get it at all. This is my side of the story. Well, not just my side, but this is the truth. Richie first came to live with my family when he was 7 years old. By this point of his life he had been by this point kicked out by his mum and by not one but two different foster families. This is because his behavior as a child was nothing short of demonic. This is a fact he conveniently left out of his telling of his life, by the way. When he first came to live with us he smashed about 3 of our TVs within 3 months. He had given my dad a black eye and bloody nose when he was trying to restrain Richie from smashing another one. Richie also broke the tail of our cat by slamming it into a door purposefully and stuck chewing gum in the ears of our family dog, something we didn't know until the dog went for a haircut weeks later. And this is just scratching the surface of what he did to our family. Richie wants to portray himself as this wonderful, amazing person on here for all the people who don't know him. That's because he can't portray himself as a victim in real life. Do you know what the next step for Richie was if he didn't come live with our family? He was going to be sent to a specialist behavioral group home for children. One that is reserved for some of the children with the absolute worst behaviors. Despite this, my family loved him. Never held anything against him. Never made him pay for the damages he caused to the house. Nothing. We just cared and loved him like he was a real part of our family. And do you know how he repays us for that love? Puts in a formal complaint with his pa that we failed him. Says it wants it marked on my parents' files. I told him that was too much. That if he did that I wouldn't support him. Yes, my parents made a small mistake and quickly fixed it by saying he had until the end of the month. My parents are some of the most experienced and well-regarded foster parents in their agency. They are well known for taking in extremely troubled and problem children like Richie and fixing them or at least helping. So when my parents got a call saying there was a little boy around the same age Richie was with a similar past of being kicked out of foster families. They said every other foster family they tried has refused him. And he was going to be sent to a group home. They requested my parents to take him because of their proven track record. Richie couldn't even read when he came to live with us and now he is going to a prestigious university and studying classical education. Think about that for a moment. Another innocent boy was going to be sent to a group home unless my parents could take him. Now he's starting going on all this shite saying it's unethical for my parents to take another child when they said they would keep him? But does he really expect the child to be sent to a group home? Does he want that? The things that Richie called me earlier today were so insanely hurtful and mean and uncalled for. I have done nothing but support him since I found out and now he repays me like this. I even convinced my parents to send him some money which they did BTW but oh woe is me they don't want me anymore. They said he is welcome any time that he wants in the house and as often as he likes. They never threw him away. And now has put in the complaint my parents have said I need to get a part-time job, after everything I did for him. My family fixed him. End of. Without his head probably be a drug addict living on the street. Jamie, I won't use your real name despite you using mine. The things you've written here are very painful. I know that was their purpose, but that doesn't make me feel any better. The things you've shared about me are deeply personally and private. You know my past, you know what happened to me before I was taken into care and yet you say these things? What you've shared publicly about me hurting animals when I was younger are some of my most shameful memories. You know when I came to live with you I was deeply traumatized, you know I was forced to watch gore and animal cruelty by the hands of my dad. You know that I was abused, and hurt and treated badly. This isn't me trying to excuse what I did, as I've said many times I was a bad person. I did a lot of horrible things to everyone. And I regret them intensely to this day. They were actions done by a traumatized boy trying to gain any element of control over his life. Does that make it okay? No it doesn't. I'm truly sorry if the way I acted as a child has left such a profound impact on you even today, that you would feel the need to expose my trauma, my life to the world. When I wrote my posts, I never targeted anyone. I have said from the start that I think your parents were great foster parents and really helped me. I am sorry for the way things went earlier today. I am sorry for the way I acted as a child. But I thought you were different. Genuinely believed you were different. I hate to see all of this caused by the greed of mom and dad. I have lost everything over the past week, I'd really hate to lose you too. No matter how stupid and idiotic posting this was I won't even mention it again if you just delete it now. It will be forgotten. Please. Another post from Jamie a few days later. Everyone I am sorry for the way I acted the other day. It was incredibly disrespectful and rude and I am truly ashamed of myself and the impact my words must have had on everyone. I am not normally like that. I know it isn't an excuse that I was very drunk but it could be an explanation of why I was acting so unlike myself. I have embarrassed myself and my family. For that I am incredibly sorry. Update 3. It's been a little while since my last post. I'm not sure why I'm even posting now. I'm just feeling really depressed today and I should be feeling happy. I want to get this out the way first. You may have noticed I deleted everything on here. That was intentional. I want to move on. I haven't had any contact with any of the Peters family since Jamie and I had our argument. I don't want anyone to interact with Jamie if he posts more. He is just attention seeking. If people have a copy of what Jamie wrote, I would appreciate it if you deleted them / didn't share them anywhere. The stuff he shared about me, it was just to hurt me. It was some of the most shameful things I ever did, so I can understand if you don't want to support me after you read what it. If you do feel that way, just know I'm really sorry for what I did as a child. It isn't who I am now, and it wasn't who I was then. I'm sorry if I hurt or mislead anyone. That wasn't my intention. The Peters have a new foster child already living with them. I mentioned this before, but when I said I wanted it on their record that they tried to kick me out with no notice, I was told they would be given extra guidance if they have a child living with them start the process to aging out. I'm in two minds because honestly I feel like that is just a slap on the wrist and thing else. But at least someone will be watching over them in the future when one of their other foster children gets to 18. I have some good news today. My PA got in contact with my first choice university, which is also the uni he went to, and he somehow got them to convert their conditional offer into an unconditional offer, which means no matter what grades I get from my A-levels I get to study there. I don't even know how he managed to do it. I am so grateful for it. He's also got them to explain all the support I get as a care leaver, which is great. They're giving me free accommodation for the first year, which has released a huge stress from me because I had no clue how I was going to get to uni each morning, and they're going to lower the passing grade boundaries for me in my first year, though I hope I won't need this. I want to be getting good grades, and they're giving me a starter pack of important things I will need for my first year. Even though all those good things are happening for me, I just don't feel happy. I'm trying not to show it, but I actually really worried about starting uni, and I used to have the Peters to help me, and Claire especially used to give me a lot of emotional support. I really feel like I'm missing part of myself. I feel stupid saying this, and you guys are probably going to tell me it's stupid, but I just went the other day and watched the Peters house from afar. They didn't know I was there, but I could see into the living room window and they were just acting normal, and the new foster child was there also. I literally sat there for a few hours just watching. I really want to go and speak to them, but I know it's a bad idea. I shouldn't want them back, but I do. I feel really isolated, which is probably why I've come back here to post. Oh, and I do not give my consent for any person to re-upload this or anything else I posted on TikTok or Facebook or YouTube. My first few posts have been uploaded to TikTok and Facebook and have like over 250k views. It makes me feel sick that people are using me as a tool to make money. I know this probably won't stop any of them, but if anyone sees them out in the wild, no, I do not support it. Oop asked for this part to be removed, saying he doesn't care if people share his story now. I wasn't even planning on posting from this account again. I haven't posted in almost 2 weeks and have no way of contacting the Peters, but they clearly watch this account. So I just want to put out there that I will not be scared into silence. I will not be threatened or bullied. If I want to speak my story, I will. I have not named any individual or family in any of my posts. None of my posts have been lies and I have always spoken only from my own perspective. I don't know why you've sent this letter to me, but I assume you're feeling empowered by the fact that my official complaint went nowhere. However, I want to remind the Peters that I have a screenshot of the post Jamie wrote about me on Reddit, exposing my legal first name and confidential and private information about my life. I did not include this information in my initial complaint, but you know as well as I do if I choose to pass that on you will be in deep shit. I don't want to be part of your lives anymore, you clearly do not want to be part of mine, so let's just leave it there. Do not try to threaten me again, otherwise I will expose everything I can. I will write a whole fucking book about my experiences in care and publish it if that's what I want to do. I'm sorry everyone. It's true that I am not a good person. I have done truly awful things that I just want to forget but I can't. All your support over the last month has meant so much to me, and I don't think I would be here writing this today without it. I have done awful things in my past, really awful things. Things I am so ashamed of. I wish more than anything I could change my life. I wish I could alter the things I've done. People hear my past and they think I am some monster, some unfeeling freak. Many at the time I was, I don't know. The truth is I don't deserve all the love you guys give me, I don't deserve any of it. And no matter how I try to move forward I know someone will always be there to remind me of my mistakes. It's so embarrassing people talking about your trauma all the time and I know I started it by posting here. I wish I never did. I am starting to think maybe I'm having a psychotic break, I am really worried about myself. I hope you people understand that the things I did, that person, it wasn't me. It wasn't who I am now. I don't expect people to forgive me because what I did to innocent people and animals is unforgivable. I am going to log off this account after today and I don't think I will log back in again. It's too embarrassing seeing your past mistakes brought up again and again and again. I just want to be left alone and forget any of this happened. Hi guys, you are probably all sick of me saying this is my last post only for me to post once again. But I ended my last post on such a negative place. I wanted to give you all an update to A, say I'm okay, and B, to tell you things are looking up for me. It's my birthday today, I'm 19. I'm just having a relaxing evening. I might order myself an Indian later but I'm not sure yet. This is my first birthday without the Peters since I was 7. All of the Peters messaged me happy birthday today, as if I was just what? Going to forgive and forget and message them back? I probably should block them all, but they message me occasionally and as unhealthy as it is I enjoy reading those messages. I don't know if the Peters still monitor this account, but they sent me a letter from a solicitor's telling me I had to stop posting about them. I am calling them on their BS though. University is going well for me, I am finding it hard, I won't lie to any of you. But I am enjoying it. I've made some friends on my course, but mainly with those who are living in my halls. I have my reading week this week, and I'm planning on getting ahead for my first assignment which isn't due until January, but I thought better to have it done earlier rather than later. I have a date next Wednesday, we're going to see Joker 2, although I have heard it's really bad. And I am hopeful about that. I've been on one date with him before, last week, and I really had a good time, the best time I've had in ages. He paid last time, so I guess it's my turn to pay now? I don't really know how it works, but I think that's right. I wasn't allowed to date when I was living with the Peters, so this is my first time in a relationship. I'm not sure why I thought I was having a psychotic break last time I posted, but I suppose it was just because of stress. I wasn't and I am feeling a lot better now in general. It's kind of embarrassing that I thought I was having a psychotic break. I hope you guys don't judge me too harsh for it lol. This is actually going to be the last time I post on this account, at least for a while. I might come and update you guys in a year if you guys want that. I'm not sure if you would even remember me then, but I like using this space to talk and vent when I need it. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but in my A-levels I got A/A. I was so proud of myself. I'm currently watching the Agatha All Along show on Disney+, although I pirate it, Disney doesn't need my money, and I am very excited for the finale on Halloween next week. People recommend some other TV shows or books to read. Someone said for me to watch Lost, but I've heard mixed things about it. I really fought with my PA to get visits with Levi, who was the 9-year-old foster boy who lived with Maya at the Peters that I mentioned in my very first post. The Peters tried to block it at every chance they got, but I reached out to his social worker personally, who's a really decent guy, and he managed to get it pushed through for me. It's on Monday the 28th, and I am very nervous about it. It will be the first time I've seen him since I moved out, but I think the Peters will also be there at least to drop him off and pick him up. Which is going to be really nerve-wracking for me. I think they expected that I would just give up after they tried to block it so much, but I didn't, so I can't back out now. But on the whole, things are going so much better for me now. I feel really good about myself and about life. I'm happy and hopeful about the future. They posted this message from an alt account. On the account it contained proof that they were you/CandidSpot5015. This message is coming from CandidSpot5015. My real name is Richie, not Ollie, something that my brother shared on his profile that was left up, even after I reported it, until he deleted it. I have been given a permanent ban for sharing personal information of others on my main account. I have not shared any personal information that wasn't my own. This is unjust and unfair. I have submitted an appeal. In the meantime, my new account is you/CandidSpot v2 update 4. So last Monday, I finally got to see Levi, the first time since moving out. It nearly didn't happen at all, and to be honest I probably would have bailed last minute if I'd trusted my own instincts. I was so anxious, I threw up twice Sunday night just at the thought. Levi's social worker met me at this weird little coffee place next to the library. He's taller than I remember, but still wearing that bright blue hoodie that used to swim on him, now finally fits. He ran up to me and just hugged me and I thought I was going to melt. I didn't realize how much I missed him until I saw him, and he started rapid firing me with questions. About uni, about what my flat looked like, about if the food in the halls was as bad as Mom says. I almost cried, but I managed to hold it together. The Peters, Claire and Matt, I guess it's time I use their names openly since they've tried to force my hand with their stupid legal letter, were there at the start, just sort of hovering like ghosts. Claire waved. I waved back. It was awkward, but no one said anything. I'm grateful for that, though it made my skin crawl at first to sit across from them and pretend we were all just normal people. Levi and I spent an hour together. He told me he's into chess now, and he pulled a battered board out of his backpack like a little magician. He beat me 3 times in a row. Savage, but what hit the hardest was when the social worker asked him if there was anything else he wanted to say before it was time to go, and Levi suddenly blurted out, "I thought you left because you didn't like me anymore." That absolutely destroyed me inside. It's hard to put into words, hearing from a 9-year-old the raw stuff you don't ever want to be responsible for. I reassured him, told him over and over it was nothing to do with him and that I missed him, that I wouldn't just disappear from his life if I could help it. But after he left, I sat in the bathroom at the library and just sobbed for a long time. I think that's the first real cry I've had since July. I walked home afterwards, trying to make sense of everything, and I saw that I had a whole string of missed calls. Claire again. I didn't pick up, but she left a voicemail. Basically, she said, "I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry for hurting you. You're right. We failed. If you ever want to talk, we're here." That's the closest thing to an actual apology I've ever had from her. I saved it. I still haven't called back. The rest of this week's been sort of wild. I learned, through a mutual friend and then confirmed by Levi, that Matt and Claire's new placement, a 10-year-old boy named Lucas, had a really bad week. He apparently trashed their living room and locked himself in the bathroom for hours, enough that they had to get outside help. Supposedly, Claire said, "It's just like last time," meaning me. That stung, but in a weird way it made me feel vindicated. Maybe they're being forced to face the consequences of just cycling through troubled kids instead of dealing with the underlying issues. Levi said he heard someone from their agency is actually coming to observe the household more regularly now, and not just offer extra guidance, so maybe something is happening, even if it's small. Uni is hard, and at the same time, life-changing. I had my first panic attack in a lecture hall last Thursday. Someone's phone alarm went off, and it sounded a lot like the buzzer we used to have at the Peters if someone opened the back door. Don't ask lol. I don't remember getting out of the hall, but next thing I know I'm sitting on the grass outside with some girl from my course. Her name's Priya, by the way, talking me down until my breathing evened out. She stayed with me for an hour, and since then we've had lunch every day. For the first time, I really felt like maybe I'm building something of my own, not just living as a guest in someone else's life. I wish I could say my romantic life is thriving, but no, it's a disaster. The date I mentioned? Went to see Joker 2, which was somehow both the worst and weirdest film I've ever sat through. I tried to have fun. He tried to be polite about what a dumpster fire the film was. We ended up walking the city for an hour afterwards, not talking about anything important, and by the end of it he told me he didn't think we were quite a match. It actually didn't sting as much as I thought it would. I felt, for once, kind of okay with it all. So, here's where it gets spicy. Last week, I was contacted by the local authority, not the usual social worker, but some serious-sounding person from Fostering Standards. Apparently, they'd been forwarded my Reddit posts by someone, as well as the posts Jamie made about me. Yes, Jamie, if you're reading, thanks a bunch, mate. They wanted to make sure I was safe and also to ask if I'd be willing to share more of my experience with their policy review panel, not just as a formality, but for the purpose of developing real guidelines for staying put transitions. I didn't decide straight away, but after thinking about it, I agreed. I'm going to a panel in March to talk about how it actually feels to be left in limbo. I even got to see a draft of their new protocol. They asked my opinion. Something as small as minimum of 2 months notice and pre-eviction support for care leavers. I don't know if it'll change anything, but that's one more thing I have that I didn't have last year, a sense of power over my own story. And, for anyone morbidly following the Jamie drama, he texted me to apologize, again, after I'd asked him to leave it alone. He ended up sending me this rambling, awkward email about how he's in therapy now, how he didn't realize how bad things were for me because at least you were loved, which is backward, but I get where he's coming from. We're not friends again, and maybe won't be, but I'm not angry anymore. I actually hope he finds some peace with his own stuff. I'm still battling that guilt, wondering if, like Levi, there'll be another guardianless kid left feeling like it's their fault, or if I was just inconvenient at the wrong time. In therapy we're working on that. My therapist had me write a letter to my 7-year-old self, and reading it back, I realized there was a lot I needed to forgive. So, for the first time, I'm looking at next month and actually feeling excited. So where am I now? I'm sitting at a cheap desk in a freezing student hall, eating 2-day-old curry with a glass of, probably off, milk, watching the streetlights flicker through my window. For once, my life isn't all drama and crises, there's a normalcy to it, a stability I've never had. And for the first time, when I think about family, I don't feel angry or hurt. I feel sad, sometimes. But more than anything, I feel free. If you're a care leaver who comes across this, or anyone going through your own mess, I hope you'll take this as proof that things can get better, even when you're sure they can't. I'm not magically fixed, but I'm not broken anymore, either. I'll actually come back in a year for a real update if anyone wants that. Or maybe even before if something utterly ridiculous happens, like, say, the Peters get booted from fostering and take up competitive chess. For now, though, thank you for reading and listening and being gentle with me, even when I couldn't be with myself.